Hello friendo, this is a quick hello world using TypeScript, @types, and colors.js. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, so you get all the wonderfulness of JavaScript and all the access to libraries, and you get a little more structure using TypeScript for a little bit of classes support and other things that probably are helpful. When my applications get larger, I always wish, dang, I wish I had started this using TypeScript and not just plain old JavaScript. Thankfully, it's very easy to switch because basically all you have to do is rename your files. Now, TypeScript is basically looks exactly like JavaScript, except it goes through a little bit of filtering to turn it into pure JavaScript. And part of that is you need to tell TypeScript which version of JavaScript you want to convert to. And right here we're converting to ES5. And the way we load that is we create this configuration file, and it tells TypeScript which files not to look at, which to not convert, and what to include. And basically here I'm saying all folders, all files, take a look at them. So we'll go ahead and save that in our file here. And it must be named tsconfig.json. Now, when we have something in our main application, it'll be converted. Of course, it won't happen automatically. We will need a command prompt to do so. So let's go ahead and cd into there. Let's call it. And now that we're in there, we can use ts TypeScript here is tsc. And unfortunately, there's no TypeScript files there at the moment, other than this one, but it doesn't really have anything to do in there. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, we're going to do something called creating some variables, and we'll just call this one colors. Whoops. I don't know why it wants to be capitalized. And I'm using Microsoft's Visual Studio Code, and the reason for that is TypeScript is a Microsoft project. As well, this editor works well with basically anything Microsoft, so it works really great with TypeScript. So go ahead and do that. And now you're instantly seeing it's giving us a little warning here in red. Require, it's not quite, TypeScript is not sure what that means. So let's go ahead and teach TypeScript what that means real quick. And a way we can do that is using @types. @types are basically definitions for TypeScript about what things are outside of its TypeScript world. And require is a Node.js type of feature. So we need to teach TypeScript what is going on there. So the way we can do that is we just do npm install @types node. Now I believe we actually have to reopen this, but for now, let me reopen it. There, now it knows what it's talking about. And so we'll just use colors for now. And now let's jump into the actual lesson, how you do run. Let's just do a quick command here. We're going to do the way we send things out to the console in TypeScript is we just do exactly like we do JavaScript in the browser, which is console.log. And we'll just say hello world. And we'll save that using Control-S. Now, you can't just go into your file and start running app.ts. App.ts is the file we're working on, and unfortunately, you can't just run TypeScript files. They have to be converted to JavaScript. And the way we do that is like we were doing before. is it this one or this one? Must have been this one. We run TypeScript console, TSC, and that converts it into a TypeScript.js file. Now let's look at that real quick. This is what it's actually giving us, and we aren't using any special, oh, it's this one. We aren't using any special functions at the moment, so it looks almost exactly the same. We'll fix that. So the way we actually run it is we would do, let's go into that folder. And the way we do it is, this is a Node application, so we'll say node app.js. Now it's telling us it can't find colors. Well, that's because colors is not installed. So of course, you know what npm is, as you've already installed TypeScript, and TypeScript, you need npm to get installed. So now when we run, we see hello world, but that's not really good enough for me. I'd like it to be a little more clear as to what we're doing. So let's go ahead and we'll say, let's copy this line, and we'll say script starting up. And colors is a piece of, it's a library that will help us recognize things better in the console. As we saw there, it was just a gray hello world, and that's a little bit, when you've got an application scrolling by and running different things, it's a little bit hard to catch errors or see what's going on. So I like colors for especially scripts that run once or twice a day, just to see what's going on. I'd like to give them a color so I can kind of catch what's relevant or what's important. So let's go ahead and say rainbow. I believe this is a default color. And now rainbow is going to apply a rainbow effect to this script starting up. So let's go ahead and run that. Now, if we run right now, we won't see anything new, because what's going on is we run the, what was it called? We run that app.js, and that app.js hasn't been updated. Now, it would be real annoying to go in here and be doing TypeScript console every single time to get it to update. So what we can do is add this argument -w, and that's going to watch the entire folder structure that you've specified in your tsconfig.json for any changes. So we'll go ahead and run it right now, and it's gone ahead and completed our newest set, so we should have a whole new app.js now. And now you can see we've got a rainbow here kind of helping our script starting up stand out. Now I usually do script starting in rainbow or something else that I can see, the script is starting up. And then if I see, obviously hello world is not too relevant, but maybe if I saw something like fatal error, I'd say, anytime there's a fatal error, I'd like that to be red so I can kind of see it. Whoops, forgot the S. So you can name this anything, but I often call it colors. So we'll go ahead and save that. What'll happen over here is our watcher saw that the file changed and went ahead and recompiled it. So we'll run it again and see what happens. Fatal error. Alright, now we've got that, but we haven't really leveraged much use of TypeScript here, have we? We haven't really used any classes or anything interesting. So let's go ahead and, I've got it here, a a tweet class that I've used in other projects, and I'm just going to drop this down into this section that I've specified for classes. And we'll modify this. Instead of being a tweet, we'll just call this a message. Message severity check. And instead of the number of tweets, we'll just say, we'll just leave this original text. And now TypeScript gives you some access to public and private variables that JavaScript doesn't really make use of. And we're getting a lot of red here because TypeScript doesn't really know what a tweet is, because we've gone and changed it to message severity check. And it's complaining about all these because these don't exist anymore. So that's one kind of nice thing about TypeScript, is you can see, oh, he has something that's called permalink. So next time we use permalink, it knows that permalink is supposed to be a string. So if we tried to do this equals permalink plus plus, it'll say, hey, wait a minute, you can't plus plus a string. You need to be a number to do something like that. So if we change this to number, now it says, oh, okay, you're a number. You can do that. Okay, but that's not really the lesson of what we're getting at here today. So let's get back to where we were. Original text, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change this constructor. Message, whoops. Parameter message. Alright, that'll make it a little bit easier to see. Get rid of that. And I killed our name of this class. It was called what? Message Severity Checker. Alright. And I've got down here a blank method. We'll make use of that real quick. We'll make use of that in a moment, but let's just go ahead and make sure this all works. We hit a save there. Now what we're going to do is, let's bring this up into our thing here. We'll say, let's make a new variable called message, and that is equal to a new message severity checker. And this is the nice thing about using TypeScript with Visual Studio Code, is you get this little context menu thing here. And let's just throw a message in there called fatal error. Let's say, oh, what should we do with it? Actually, I think I want this thing to work a little different. Maybe what we'll do is, when you make a message severity checker, it doesn't create anything for now, just for our simple example. But with this blank method, we'll take an input and we'll check how severe that might be. So let's comment out this console log. Get our semicolon in there for completeness. And now we've got this message object, which is actually just one instance of our message severity checker. And let's say we have some program running, and every now and then we throw a message into this, what was the name of our blank method? Oh, let's change the name of this blank method to color check, or how about fatal check? Well, we want more things in here, so let's just call it import And in there, let's throw a message called fatal error. I was just kind of laughing to myself because of the 0 as the O. Fatal error, the whole system is on fire. Ugh. Now, how we're going to do this is, let's go in here, and we'll just say if para input dot index of, we'll say anytime there's an exclamation point, we'll just say anytime there is an instance of exclamation point, we are going to do console dot log colors red and we'll say para input. Let's go ahead and save that. So index of should give us the index of any exclamation points in whatever we give this thing, and -1 means it wasn't found. So if it was not -1, basically if it was found, then go ahead and print this out in red, this whole message. So let's go ahead and run that. The compilation, it converted it already, so we'll run it. Now we got here a problem here. Message severity check is not a constructor. It doesn't have a constructor, I guess it means. Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll just give it a message here for now. It's not a constructor. You know, I think I know what's wrong here. The problem is TypeScript knows about this, except that class hasn't really been made yet. So let's just move it up here. And let's move some of our real stuff here into main. There. Now we got it. So we could probably get rid of this. This was pointless. Now, we don't have to fix this error here, but what will happen is TypeScript will tell us, hey, you got something here called para-message that you're trying to use, but we have no idea what that is. It's still going to compile it for you, but it's also going to warn you, because that'll run in JavaScript. It'll just crash the entire program when you try to run it, or it'll, give you some warnings at runtime. Para-message not defined. Oh, well, that's because we're constructing it and we hit there. So yeah, it crashed the entire thing. So we'll go ahead and convert that. Now we got rid of our error. Now when we run it, it runs as we would expect. All right, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover here today. One other thing I wonder if we didn't do is we told TypeScript about require, but we never told it about colors. So let me see one thing here. It might be that I already have it installed here, but this is the colors. Whoops. Dot. Yeah, it doesn't know anything about what colors has. So let's do that real quick. We'll say npm install at types colors. Earlier I was doing this and oh, okay, there we go. It went through fast. Now I believe it'll tell us, yeah. Well, some different options of colors would be rainbow or red. And that's kind of what we did already, is we did rainbow and we did red. There's a few others in there that you can read about. I think one's called America. It looks like it's not defined, but it's just red, white, and blue, and lots of different things. Oh, one cool thing, BG cyan. Let's just show you this real quick. Oh, this is a bad place to experiment with colors. Drop you up in here. Alright, and instead of test, let's see, end of script reached. Oop, what did I do? Alright, it's gone ahead and compiled that. Go ahead and run it. Whoops, that was not what we wanted. We want this. BG cyan. Colors. Was it this? There's something called background. But I'm not quite remembering what it was. Let's see if we can get it here. BG. I thought it was BG. Maybe it's back. Maybe it's... Is that? Oh no, it wouldn't be that. It would be more like this. But I don't remember doing capital letters. Oh, now it is it. And we've actually got it backwards. Quitting. Why did quit start here? Rainbow starting. Oh, because we... Where'd our actual... Oh, I see. It's here. So we should probably move this down there, because this is not really setup stuff. This is... belongs down here. So we'll put this at the very beginning. Then we go through our severity, or we make our severity checker. Then we check it against this fatal error. And then we say, oh, reach the end of the script, quitting. And the reason I just wanted to show you that BG cyan, or background cyan, is because when you have just red, blue, yellow, green to work with, those can get kind of mixed up quickly, and sometimes I just need a few other options. And cyan is kind of nice, that I can see it and it stands out, but it's not, you know, red or green like a good or bad message. It's just informational. So that's kind of the end of what I wanted to show you. Hope this helps.